Hi, my name is Robert Acheson. I'm doing my persuasive speech on the G2 1U multiple effects processor for guitar players. This thing is the thing that you want because it looks cool and it takes up a lot less space than all your other pedals would combined. A lot of the benefits of this thing, well, just in general, pedal boards like this take up a lot less space. You see here I have 3 pedals. That's it. That's because this one pedal in itself takes up the space out of about 10 to 20 different pedals in themselves. It's very easy to operate. It combines, like I said, 10 to 20 different effects that you can combine in different combinations under different patches. Patches are labeled by letters of the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, and F, and each one of these has 10 patches in them. Each one of these sub-patches has their own trademark, or I guess you would call it, effect that you can combine with any of the other effects through the pedal. And in addition to that, it also has 30 extra patches that you can build just that aren't under the original patch letters, just 1 through 30, that you can build specifically with anything. You aren't limited to the patch itself, the patch parameters themselves, which makes this a very cool pedal, because which would you rather have, this or like 4 or 5 of these filled with a bunch of these little pedals? Anyway, this setup I have here is also part of the whole shebang, because this one pedal has all this in it. Personally, I like to add a couple things to it. I have a milk box compressor added to it right here, because compressors tighten up the signal so that when they go into the multiple effects processor, you have a tighter sound for the patches to work with, and also boosts the signal. You can also boost the signal a little bit, which I personally don't like to do too much, because then you get distortion. Not the good distortion, bad distortion. And then it comes out of here, and I like to use the Digitech hardwired metal distortion pedal for my distortion. Although the Zoom pedal does have some awesome rock distortions in itself. The G2 is also black and chrome. I mean, how much more metal can you get? You know, it's got chrome on it, guys. Come on, get it. Get it done. Also, with this pedal and in a pedal board setup, you can have what's called a power brick. Well, we call it a power brick. It's actually called power supply, but it takes too long to say supply, so we just say brick. It runs this. This is a 9-volt. Takes a 9-volt battery. You can run the power supply directly to this, and this also takes away your need of having these. Everyone's seen them. Those really long power strips people run their computer rigs off of. You just have a wall outlet, go to a power conditioner, run into one of these, and you're done. It takes up a lot of clutter, just the same as having all the other effects pedals, all the other cables that go between them, buying batteries for all those pedals, buying cables for the battery packs for all those cables. That can go on forever with how much crap you're going to have on the floor in front of you on stage. And if you have this, you have two wires, not counting microphone cables and stuff that you're going to have on stage, which every band has to deal with anyway. How I set this rig up is extremely simple. Well, just the pedal side of it. You run the guitar into the milk box compressor, into the compressor first, because if you do it afterwards, you're going to get all the ground noise from the other pedals. If you don't know what ground noise is, Google it. That's what Google is built for, guitar players, so we wouldn't get mad or kill each other. And from the compressor into the multi-effects processor, gives it a nice tight sound going into it. Still has a nice crisp sound coming out. Into your other effects. Depending on what effects you have here, you might want your distortion or other things before it or after it. You have to figure out which side you get the best sound on. Personally, I get the best sound because I use one of the channels on my Zoom pedal to specifically form the sound for my distortion pedal. I also use other distortions on here. I have a patch called A8, which is a more compressed, clean sound with a gate on it. So I will not get feedback through this when I'm not playing, because it has a tight gate on it. One of the downsides of that, though, is if you overdo the gate and you don't have the compressor or the zoom on A8 or whatever it's supposed to be, it's not going to cut through and you're not going to get much sound. I also have, like, for example, A7. The A's are my favorite. A7 is, my band calls it my epic solo tone. It has a tube-driven distortion sound with a crap load of reverb, and it sounds really epic. A9 is acoustic with kind of like a little bit of a flutter on it, but you can get very detailed with this. You can find this I do believe is shortly going to be out of production within the next year or two. It is about $180 to $200 at Sam Asher Guitar Center. You can order it from either one. Personally, I would go to musiciansfriend.com and order it. You don't have to try it out. Take it from me. This thing rocks. Please check out my band, myspace.com/unarmedforvictory, and my solo project page, which I'm putting together still, myspace.com/lewismetal. And yes, this is shameless self-promotion. Anyone else watching this for an example for their speech should do the same, because it's not uncool, it's cool. It's what you're supposed to do for school projects that are online. Bye-bye.